Alright, so this video here is looking at your desk organizer or breadboard that you may have designed, and we want to look at putting a simple image across the top. So you should have accessed this document here. If this is the first time you're using CorelDRAW, then you need to download this program. There's an image over there from Company Portal, and then once you've done that, make sure you click on this link, opens up a different document, and it goes through how to set up CorelDRAW so that it's ready to talk to the college laser. So you got to have it set up to a specific size. You've got to set some preset, the colors to RGB red, hairline to always be the thickness of the line. If you don't have those things set, then the file won't talk to the laser properly. So this worksheet here, and there's a video that outlines how to do that part there. So once you've clicked on that, you're now into this video, and let's look at CorelDRAW. So you would have clicked on create a new file. Make sure that it is in landscape. The width of it is 1000 and the height is 600. That's the size of our college laser, and we'll press OK. Now, two things we might want to do, but let's look at, first of all, I want you to draw the size of the piece of timber that you're using. So depending on the style and design of your particular product, some may be 300 millimeters long by 140 millimeters wide. So you can see I've typed that up here. Now you'll see the lock symbol was on. So when I said 140, it changed the ratio. So turn that lock off if that's the case for you, and you want it to be 300 by 140. Some of you may have cut it down, it might be 100. So make sure you draw this square just as a place setting for the size of what you want to do. Now some people may want to write some text. Pretty simple. Click on the text function, work out where you want to type, and you might want to make it your last name. Now make the font size a little bit bigger. So this is going to sit, you want to set it in the middle of your piece of timber. So it looks like about 140 might fit. Nope, not quite. So maybe it's 120. So last name, call it bold, and pick a font. Now there's a whole range in here. Cooper Black isn't a terrible font, I quite like it. Cooper Black, got a bit of size to it. So there's last name. Now, you do not need to particularly worry about positioning it in the center. Just from an appearance standpoint, you might want to look at it and work out if that's the particular width and thickness of the position, if you like what you can see. But once you've got that in place, we can then send that file by itself to the laser. If there is a few of you in your class, now I suggest you have, especially if it's the same piece of timber, you might line up 4 of these into the laser. So what we can actually do, if it's got 4 pieces of timber that are the same, we'll grab the square. We're going to look at rotating that square 90. Make sure whenever you use a laser, whatever you draw must be in this square. If it's not in this square, the laser, when you send it, won't see the whole image. So that will be a concern. So what we can do here, have your image. We know that it's 140 wide. We might go edit, step, and repeat. I actually had that selected already. It's over here. There we go. Now, across the horizontal plane, so think about the horizon, going to the right, we want these to be 140 millimeters wide, because that's how wide this box is. If your box is smaller, make it a different measurement. The vertical is 0, and we're going to fit 5 of them. So there we have potentially 5 different students' jobs lined up. Now my first student, and their name is unfortunately last name, we're going to rotate that text 90 degrees. And when we do this, actually, although I've made it 6, I actually want this to be an odd number. So make sure we're going to do 5 or 7, so 5 will fit. So I'm going to get this, and I'm going to position, and as I move around, it'll click to the center. That's what I want to see. Now my next person, conveniently, is going to write their name, and would you believe it, their name's last name. Now the next person, so obviously you're not going to copy and paste, so the next person can come along, do all this in one computer is fine, change that to 0, and this person's name is actually first name. So where I'm going to change this, click on that point tool. That's red. That's telling you that that's not the whole image and that the text little box that you drew won't fit everything. So we're going to make it a bit longer. There we go. Now I can fit everything. Now this guy, I'm going to rotate. And the reason why this is a good example, it just fits. Just fits there. But you might look at that and go, I don't want to be too close to the edge, which is something that I would recommend just in case our timbers or our laging doesn't quite line up. So if I make that 110, or we could actually look at going object, and we're going to break first name apart. I have to do that twice, and then convert it to a curve. And we can look at using the arrow tool and make that a little bit smaller. So now I'm going to come back into here and click on center, and there's my next person whose name is first name. Might need a bit of editing actually. It looks like it's not quite in the center, which we can use the arrow key and nudge that around until we get that in a position where we do like it. Alright, once I've got all 4 of these and 4 different people's names set up, I can look at what you then need to do is save this as a PDF. So we come up to File, Export, I should say, and then this is going to be 5 by names, and we're going to export this, and there will be some USBs around the laser. Export it and pick the location of a USB that you've just put in, and then we're going to take that across to the laser.